Before we dive into today's story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss stories like these, moments filled with betrayal, shock, and unexpected twists that leave everyone speechless. I had always believed birthdays were supposed to be joyful, full of laughter, surprises, and warmth. But that evening, when Emily raised her glass and toasted something shocking, I felt the air shift in the room. Her friends erupted into laughter, the kind that felt too loud, too knowing. I smiled politely, but inside, a knot of tension was forming. I had been with Emily for 3 years and I thought I knew her. But tonight, everything felt different. We were at her apartment, her friends gathered around the dining table, champagne flowing and conversations overlapping. Emily stood up, holding her glass high, a mischievous glint in her eyes. "To freedom," she declared, and then with a laugh added something that made the room freeze for a fraction of a second, something none of her friends expected. They burst into laughter, loud and unrestrained, while I just stood there, the glass in my hand trembling slightly, not from the alcohol, but from a surge of instinctive awareness. I didn't react immediately. I had learned over the years that responding too quickly often gave away more than one intended. I observed, taking in every glance, every subtle shift in body language. Her best friend, Lauren, leaned back in her chair, smirking as if she already knew what I was thinking. Becca, always the follower, giggled and covered her mouth. And Chloe, the quiet one, seemed to study me, her eyes flickering with curiosity and caution. I finally spoke, my voice calm but deliberate, carrying over the lingering laughter. "Interesting toast," I said, my tone neutral but layered with the weight of implication. The laughter faltered, and for a moment, the room seemed to hang in suspended tension. I could see Emily's smile falter, the confidence she carried moments ago now slightly cracked. The shift was subtle but undeniable. A change in energy that only comes when someone realizes they've misjudged the gravity of a situation. Her friends tried to cover their surprise, laughing nervously, but I could see it, the tiniest flicker of doubt in Emily's eyes. It wasn't about the toast itself anymore. It was about me, about the way I held the room's attention without raising my voice, without needing to shout. I had learned long ago that presence mattered more than reaction. "Care to explain?" I asked, keeping my gaze steady, calm but piercing. The kind of gaze that silently communicates, "I see everything and nothing escapes me." Her smile wavered, replaced with a faint blush, a defensive tightening of her lips. She wasn't used to anyone challenging her theatrics so directly. Lauren leaned forward, trying to salvage the mood. "Oh, come on, Mark, it was just a joke," she said, her tone a little too forced. But I wasn't looking at Lauren. I was watching Emily, tracing her every micro-expression. The way she avoided my eyes, the way her hand trembled slightly as she held the glass. Subtle, but enough to tell me the truth I needed to hear. "You call that a joke?" I asked softly, because from where I'm standing it seems like more than that. The room went quiet, the laughter vanished. Even Chloe, who rarely spoke, tilted her head slightly, as if trying to understand my calm yet unyielding demeanor. Becca looked uneasy, her usual cheer dimmed by the sudden tension. Emily swallowed hard, attempting to regain her composure. "It's nothing really. Just a silly toast," she said, her voice lacking the certainty it usually carried. I nodded slowly, pretending to accept her words, but I had already made a mental note. Something had changed tonight. She had let a secret slip, maybe unintentionally, maybe because she thought her friends would shield her. Either way, I knew better. The rest of the evening continued with small talk and polite laughter, but I remained focused, observing, analyzing every movement, every glance. I didn't confront her further, not yet. In moments like these, patience is more powerful than force. Let the tension simmer. Let the truth reveal itself in actions rather than words. That's when people show their true selves, when they forget that someone is quietly watching, understanding, and waiting for the right moment to act. And that moment I knew would come. Later that night, after her friends had left, Emily and I were alone. The apartment felt heavier, charged with unspoken truths. I poured a glass of water for both of us, keeping my movements deliberate, measured. She sat across from me, avoiding my eyes, fidgeting slightly with the rim of her glass. "Mark," she began, her voice quieter now, almost hesitant. "About earlier." I raised a hand gently, stopping her. "No need for excuses," I said. I just want honesty. That's all. She blinked, a flicker of panic crossing her features. I could see she realized that the evening's toast, the laughter, the slip of words, none of it would be brushed aside. I didn't mean to, she started, but I held up my glass. Emily, it's not about intention. It's about truth. And truth has a way of coming out, one way or another. She looked down, silent for a long moment. Then finally she spoke, voice almost a whisper. It was just something I thought would make everyone laugh. No one really knew. I let her words hang in the air. The room was quiet, save for the soft hum of the refrigerator. I leaned back, calm, composed, but inside, every detail of the evening replayed in my mind. I thought about the subtle cues her friends had given away. The smirks, the nudges, the laughter that carried a hint of complicity. It wasn't just Emily. It was the entire dynamic she had built around herself. A bubble of deception that I had quietly punctured tonight. I see, I said finally, my voice steady. And that's the problem, Emily. It's never just about one small thing, is it? It's about the pattern, the choices, the things people think they can hide when someone is watching closely. Her shoulders slumped, her composure finally cracking. I didn't raise my voice, didn't scold her. Instead, I let the weight of my silence speak louder than any words could. She had expected a reaction, a confrontation, maybe even denial. Instead, I had given her clarity, a mirror to her own actions. The room, even though empty of her friends now, felt charged with a new understanding. Emily met my gaze, eyes wide, realizing that the toast, the laughter, the casual deflection, it had changed nothing about who I am or what I see. And in that moment she understood, as her friends had in a fleeting instant hours ago, that some truths cannot be hidden, and some people cannot be fooled. I placed my glass down, looked at her one last time and said softly but firmly, "Next time, think before you toast. Not everyone will laugh with you." The room was still, but the shift had happened. The energy had changed. And I knew from that night forward, things between us would never be the same.